You know, I used to be a true progressive on many issues, and one of them is the classic litmus test of climate change. That's like one of the big tests of being a so-called progressive is caring about the environment. Okay, and there was never any ignoring the facts. The ozone is fucked. The polar bears need water wings. All that shit. But people who violate plastic straw ban could face jail time in California. This is where I draw the line, okay? When we start debating over plastic straws as a real issue, I start to wonder, have we just lost the fight? We're still slurping every last drop of petrol out of the ground, but we can't slurp a slushy with a plastic straw. We're still pumping loads of coal into the atmosphere. We're still procreating to the point of overpopulation. And the thing we decide to throw people in jail for is a plastic straw. This is like trying to stop HIV by banning hand jobs. Huh? Me, officer? Sorry, I don't think I'm your guy. Would you like me to draw a sketch? Here you go. It's fucking Shell Oil. Why don't you go arrest them? I think they're doing far more damage. Now, hopefully, this issue of straws will resolve itself in a realistic way, where maybe we get to use a different kind of drinking straw made from moth wings or some horseshit non-GMO. But if we have to resort to sippy cups at a fucking drive-thru, I'm throwing that shit back. I mean, this is as first world problems as you can possibly get, is it not? You're telling me that I have to be held to a higher standard than BP? Are you fucking shitting me? And look, on one hand, I get the argument for saving the planet, future generations, survival of the species, blah, blah, blah. But you know what I say? As long as my country isn't making any real effort to reverse climate change, won't even join the fucking Paris Accord, I say in 40 years we're both gonna be taking a dirt nap, so who cares? Kiss your environment goodbye. Let the polar bears drown. I fucking quit. Long as I have no children, I'll throw my beer cans wherever I please.
Excuse me? How dare you? Are you suggesting that my children are literally pollution?
Yes. Each child is another landfill waiting to happen, and they are not cute. They suck. Okay, what else do we got today in rage news? The Me Too movement has found its new target, mentally handicapped kids. Those rascally rapists. This autistic student asked for a fist bump and a selfie. Instead, he got 2 Title IX investigations. A fist bump and a selfie may have ended Marcus Knight's educational career right as it began. The student, who has autism, cerebral palsy, and a shunt to relieve fluid pressure on his brain, was not allowed to defend himself against allegations in 2 Title IX investigations this past fall. The first incident occurred in the first week of September when Marcus was in the student services office and asked a female student working there if he could fist bump her. She agreed, but soon filed a Title IX complaint. A month later, an official who served as both vice president of student services and Title IX coordinator called the Knights into another meeting with police present because the female student had reported the incident as sexual harassment. There was a time when a fist bump was a fist bump. Isn't that the point of a fist bump? That you just raise your fist and people automatically know what it is. And she accepted it. Unless this disabled kid confused fist bumping with fist fucking. But, I don't think she would have accepted it otherwise. Isn't feminism wonderful? It's done so much to keep us safe from the menacing, handicapped kid. The second incident occurred in October. So Marcus asked to take a selfie with a girl. Her son's assistant approved him asking the question, and the female student said yes. Wow, Marcus, you got all the way to second base. Good for you. Now here's your eyewitness. It says right there her son's assistant was there with the crippled kid, and what does this tell us? It tells us that the bitch who reported him doesn't care. I mean, they think they can get away with this. They get to act out this Me Too fantasy on campus by virtue of their sex, and everybody just falls in line. Even if that person probably isn't even physically capable of assault. We must never question the accusation. According to a charge letter dated December 1st, the student reported the incident as sexual harassment, claiming that Marcus forcefully placed his hand on her shoulder while taking a selfie with her. The Title IX coordinator also said the student accused Marcus of having followed her around in October and taking over 300 unauthorized pictures of her. When the Knights were called into another meeting with the Title IX coordinator and the police, they weren't allowed to present evidence. The coordinator allegedly ordered Marcus to delete the pictures on his phone and objected to Aurora doing it for him, though she had power of attorney. See, this is when an Instagram would be very useful, but I'm not sure Marcus thought that far ahead. And I don't know what else I would do in this situation. You're fucked. I'd probably just drop out of school the same way I did a long time ago, but that's just silly old me. That's just not practical, I am told. You know, I think being rational is more important than being practical. Practical is so often used as an excuse in this culture to do what Hitler tells you to, you know, or whoever. It's just an excuse to be boring and to follow the status quo. And that's what we value now, more than ever. But if you have a rationale, if you have rational thinking skills of your own, that allows you to do crazy things that just might work. That's a little side riff. Asked what rationale the official gave for deleting the pictures and whether it was put in writing, Aurora repeated that the official said to delete them. The college did not answer this factual question when asked by the Fix. So, this reeks of total collusion. If this family's statements are 100% true, that would mean this is a coordinated effort by the school to support the harassment narrative with no evidence, meanwhile ignoring all the witnesses on Marcus's side. This article says 18. That's a fucking lot of witnesses. And they got the disabled boy to erase his own pictures, his own fucking defense. I would sue the fuck out of them. I don't care what it costs. They should be shut down for this. How is this allowed to happen? Aurora received a letter on March 28th informing her that Marcus was found responsible and suspended, and she appealed days later. None of their evidence had been taken into consideration. What a story, Marcus. You got fucked for a fist bump and a selfie. I think it's high time that any person who makes false accusations, we sentence them. I'm not sure how it would work out, but they need some jail time at least. And instead they're being validated by society for lying. It's unbelievable. Now, on the other hand, maybe not all is lost for the Me Too movement. Because it's actually doing some good here, as it takes on its biggest target yet, the Catholic Church. Apparently the priests were raping nuns too, and they're fucking sick of it. Who knew? Nobody expected this. I don't think anybody saw this coming because nuns tend to not be very outgoing people. Little on the cunty side, am I right? I mean, they did devote their lives to the Catholic Church, so... Look, I would never say something as heinous as they were asking for it. I'm just saying, if you're an old lady still chasing down the ice cream truck, nobody's gonna come save you. That's what nuns are. But in all seriousness, this is terrible. In third world countries especially, they're at a higher risk of victimization. The rape of nuns is severely overlooked, and it needs to be corrected by the Pope. I mean, this needs to be done from the top down. If the Me Too movement gains a stronghold in the Vatican, that would be a very good thing to get the movement back on its feet. I'm all for it. But since I hate to use this word, but the Catholic Church is a literal patriarchy, probably the best example of it in the world, it might take a lot of work. In other news, Trump derangement syndrome is now a real thing. Can you believe? I'm not kidding. I thought it was an exaggeration. They're calling it Trump anxiety disorder, but for the layman, it's Trump derangement syndrome. In a divided U.S., therapists treating anxiety are hearing the same name over and over: Donald Trump. Look, man, I'm no fan of Trump. I criticize him constantly. But he doesn't affect my life. Who are these people? Is my question. Who are they? They're children. They have to be, right? They wanted an Xbox for Christmas, Hillary, and instead they got a PS4. And now they actually think the PS4 is going to bring another Holocaust. They actually believe that over half the people in this country are pro-racist, pro-misogyny. They just have this end-of-the-world view of humanity. And who seeks to profit? Some bespectacled schnook in an armchair patting some crybaby on the back about how to make it through the frozen food section without breaking down over an all-caps tweet that the president sent while he was taking a shit. You did it, honey. You survived. You made it through another nuclear holocaust. You're amazing. I don't know how you do it. If you have to pay a therapist to listen to your incessant rambling about nothing, that probably means that nobody in real life wants to hear it. And that should be your first lesson right there. Mental illness is one thing. I'm not even sure a therapist is equipped to deal with that. But therapists are really just, in my opinion, they're there for rich people with no dignity. Therapists, to me, I've been to so many, but they've always been the opposite of therapeutic, except that one time she let me finish in her mouth. Most relaxed I've ever been. No, that'd be malpractice. I think that's what these people need, though. I think it'd be more useful, you know? You have a 5-minute session instead of an hour, but, you know, you get paid less. But probably not. People will probably agree to a fucking blowjob and pay the same rate. Why the fuck not? You know, it's so much easier than listening to their boring stories. People need to get laid, suck a dick, shut the fuck up. It's that simple. People who think about Trump all day or any politics, Hillary, Bernie, list goes on, because they remind them of their uncle. These people, I think you really just gotta treat them like an old TV. You know, gotta kick them, slap them upside the head. Maybe they'll start to reevaluate their priorities. Maybe not, but hey, I got nothing else. Coddling them certainly isn't working. It's making it worse. You think about this guy on a day-to-day basis, just waiting for World War III just so you can be right for once in your life. It's pathetic. Go do a Zumba class. Life goes on. That's all I got for today. I'm Jake Jones. Till next time, let's keep on raging for the win.